Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's conversation with our incredible guest expert, Tammy Drost. So, today we'll be talking about how to planning for a successful 2023 with a 360-degree approach to your business. So, if you're wanting to really achieve success in your business in 2023, you have big goals and ambitions, there's one thing that you probably need that we will be covering in today's conversation with our wonderful guest expert, Tammy. So, just a little bit to introduce our expert today. So, Tammy is an award winning business and brand strategist and the top 10 business coach with 20 plus years as a business and brand strategist, marketing executive, creative director, and a head of operations in an agency, corporate and nonprofit environments. Tammy recognized that regardless of the industry and the asset size, each organization faced similar challenges. So through her signature 360 approach that she helps with other entrepreneurs, she implemented award-winning solutions for large and complex corporations and realized they could be tailored to small businesses. So in today's conversation, we're talking about how to prepare and plan for a successful business in 2023, whether you're already a business owner, whether you're thinking about starting a business. So, Tammy, welcome to today's conversation. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Ramonda, and hello, everyone.
Good to see you. Where are you joining us from, first of all?
I am in Pennsylvania today.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, I want you to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where in the world you're joining us from, and also a little bit about your business. I think that will really, really help us answer some of your questions. So, Tammy, 360-degree business approach. Why is this such an important topic that you're covering, and how you help entrepreneurs with it?
Well, I came up with a 360 approach because, I was charged with, working on a lot of different international projects. I worked for one of the largest financial services firms in the world. And I noticed that there was in a lot of instances, was a lack of connecting the dots. So somebody would be focused on one thing, but not paying attention to what was going on in another critical area that would impact that. And so my role was really bringing about a connection between business operations, making them streamlined and efficient, making sure the business and brand strategy were aligned. And the brand, most importantly, was designed to support the business goals. And of course, the marketing and communications was deeply integrated into the business and brand strategy. So it really was about connecting all the dots. And when you have that as a solid foundation, you don't find yourself down the road, 6 months or a year, 5 years, really struggling to figure out what's falling down in your business because you've aligned everything. So that's where the 360 approach comes from.
Yeah, and I feel like, it doesn't matter the size. And as you said, you worked with very large corporations, big businesses, or even a small business, or even if it's like a one-off project, if you don't have a plan, I feel like you're really walking blind, right? Don't you feel like that's the case?
You are, and I talk to a lot of women who really struggle to balance their personal lives and their business lives. And I mean, let's face it, being an entrepreneur is not easy. You have to put in a
Mhm.
lot of time and energy, but you don't necessarily have to sacrifice your vacations. You don't have to sacrifice your family time. And you don't have to watch relationships struggle if you're working smarter. And if you're putting all those ducks in a row in the beginning and you have a solid roadmap and you know how your business is connecting the dots across all the key areas, and you know what the big picture end goals are that you want to be able to achieve, and you're able to focus more on strategy instead of spinning your wheels and focusing on the administrative stuff, you're going to naturally free up all that time that you would be spinning your wheels because you don't have a plan, and you're going to be able to free up that time and spend it however you want, whether it's sitting on the beach, whether it's traveling the world, or just spending time with your kids.
Yeah. It also really increases your chances of success because,
Yeah.
especially women who do business in a creative industry or more spiritual work, we go with our gut and instincts, and even the pricing, the marketing strategies, we just do what we can. But again, if you have a plan and you really start to think about your audience, your offerings, your products, you position yourself for success. You already know whether your business is going to be successful instead of kind of guessing, right?
Exactly. And it also prevents you from, I call this the squirrel syndrome, where you have a focus, you're going, you're headed towards a goal, and all of a sudden you see a squirrel and you're veering left or veering right. And when you have a plan and somebody on your team comes to you and says, "Oh my gosh, I think we should do this. I think this is like the greatest thing. We need to pivot. We need to do this." You can say, "Okay, let's pull out the plan. Let's look at the plan and let's see if this makes sense based on our current business goals." And so a lot of
Mm,
times those ideas that pop up randomly on your team, you're able to look at them in a very strategic way and say, no, it sounds like a great idea, but you know what? It doesn't support our overall vision and our plan. It's not going to help us get to our goals.
yeah. How powerful is that?
Yeah.
It's so easy when, especially when you pile on so much as entrepreneurs, we've got so many things to do. If we keep the vision clear towards our goals, that's just also powerful because it's so easy to get distracted and lose focus of why we are here. So tell me, we have a talk. You're one of our chosen speakers for the Women Thrive Summit, which I'm really excited about having you on board. Tell us a little bit more about the topic that you will be speaking out on the Women Thrive stage.
So the topic is how a roadmap can position you and your business for success, and it's really geared towards women who are just starting a business. They're thinking about starting a business. They're not quite sure how to start, how to start to position themselves for success.
Mm,
It's also for established entrepreneurs who maybe they never had a roadmap, but now they discover
yeah.
they need one. And also, women who are firmly established, who for whatever reason haven't looked at their business plan in years, maybe their business went in a different direction than they originally planned, and they need to revisit
Mm,
that plan, or maybe they need to pivot because something happened like COVID. So it's really, helping women who might be in a position where their business is running them versus them running the business. Maybe they're frustrated. They know there has to be a better way to achieve their business goals. And I think, success isn't about having a better product, service, program, or, working harder than anyone else. I think that entrepreneurs who are most successful are the ones who are working smarter. They understand what that big picture is, they have clearly defined objectives, and they have, even more important, a roadmap that's going to help them achieve those goals. So, this session is all about why a roadmap's critical to your business, how to build one, key elements that you want to include,
mm,
how to avoid common mistakes that I can say pretty much every entrepreneur who's just starting out's going to make. It's inevitable. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. But having a roadmap can eliminate a lot of those mistakes. And
yeah.
for anybody out there who's looking at funding their business, or maybe they need an angel investor,
Mm,
um, a, a roadmap is critical to that. If you're going for funding at a bank, they want to see what's your plan, what are your goals, because they want to see that you've really thought this out. Same thing for an angel
mm,
investor. If you have somebody who wants to fund your business, they're going to want to see your plan.
yeah. And I think that's the one mistake you can't afford to make is
Exactly.
having a plan. There will be mistakes, but if there is one mistake you want to avoid, is not having a plan in 2023 because rest assured, as it has been in the last few years, some things will go wrong and some things will become distracting, right? So
Oh yeah.
having a plan is going to save you.
Well, I think about, COVID and all the, the entrepreneurs, for example, who they base their business on in-person events and in-person retreats. And all of a sudden, they had to regroup. They had to revisit what their plan was. And, many of them have been just as successful, if not more, by taking things virtual during COVID. So,
Yeah.
having that plan allows you the flexibility to be able to pivot when you need to.
Mm. Liz, I want to ask you in the comments as well. Do you have any questions for Tammy around business planning? Or what would be the best strategies if you're planning for growth, if planning for success in 2023? Do you have any specific questions that you would like to ask Tammy? And Tammy, I just want to invite you to also, I know if people wanting to connect with you and just follow up with a conversation about business planning around, growth strategies or funding or putting a solid strategy around their business, how can women connect with you?
I'm going to paste my LinkedIn profile in here. That's probably the easiest way right now to
Mhm.
connect with me. I have a LinkedIn personal page. I have LinkedIn business, but I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and I have a website that currently is going undergoing some updates. So bear with me.
That's fine. So do make sure you connect with Tammy on her LinkedIn profile and across other social media channels. So feel free to pop that link in the chat. Ladies, so I think you've just popped it in the private chat for me. If you could, okay, I will
Oh,
make sure to share it.
okay.
So, do you ladies have any questions for Tammy today? And Tammy, what would be some of the advice or some of the mistakes that you've seen people make over the years? I mean, there's a lot we can learn from mistakes. I think we learn more from mistakes than the successes. So, what mistakes do you feel like a lot of entrepreneurs make?
I think that a lot of entrepreneurs mm, underestimate how powerful streamlined business operations are and how powerful your brand can be. When you, especially if you want to do marketing and you want to do, a lot of online marketing, it's important to have the right processes, systems, skill sets in place to be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
um, you know, when I worked, for example, in a nonprofit environment, they are notorious for not having a lot of funding. So, they often don't have those systems in place, or those systems aren't communicating to each other. They're not feeding information to each other. So, to try to go in and do digital marketing when you don't have the right systems, it's going to just be a huge mess. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of misunderstanding the big picture and how important connecting those dots from an operational standpoint, a business standpoint, and then of course marketing and communications. And
Mhm.
a lot of times when you have that plan, it will naturally show you what skill sets you're missing. What are you missing in your organization? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs make that mistake. They assume they need a certain person to help them with things, when if they sit down and do a plan, they'll actually realize that it would be more powerful to have somebody in a different position doing with a different
Mhm.
skill set. So there's a lot of mistakes that can be avoided by having that plan. I think a lot of times, funding is an issue. Uh, People don't realize that it's going to cost as much as it does to start up a business and be successful.
Mhm.
And a plan can help you work through that. It really takes you through the process and it shows you, and it kind of pushes you to look into areas and look into your strengths, your weaknesses, and be able to shine a light on, wait a second, where are the problems in my business and how do I fix that? And sometimes those problems are there from the very beginning. Um,
Mm,
and a plan will force you to see those, it will force you to address them. And in the end, you end up being able to focus on the strategy.
yeah, your business will be better off, and I feel like finances is something we don't plan enough, as especially as women. There's a lot of women that I've met shy away from planning their finances and planning their cost. And like I said, walking blind because we make decisions in our businesses on pricing, on hiring, on spending, but actually we don't realize that in the end, the two and two might not add up, and you might leave yourself out of pocket. So
I
I see
always,
that happening a lot.
I see too many women working reactively. They're scrambling to put out fires. And when you're working reactively, you're not getting a lot done. You're you're putting your time and energy into responding as quickly as possible to something that might be an emergency at the time, and maybe it's a quick fix, you're putting a band-aid on it basically. Whereas when you have a roadmap and you have those objectives and you have those goals clearly defined, you're
Mm.
working strategically, you're not working reactively. When you work reactively and you're putting out those fires, you're not growing your business, you're not positioning your business for success. And in order to do that, you really need to make that transition to working smarter.
I love that. That for me is the key takeaway. Work smarter and stop putting out the fires. Because, like I said, that squirrel syndrome, you're going to be running around all day long, being distracted all over the place and not actually reaching those goals that you set out. So, what is that big goal that you want to achieve? Where do you want your business to go in 2023? If you have that vision and the plan, back it up with a plan, my goodness, like you could reach and surpass that goal because you've spent the time to plan. So we have a question from Empire Wealth says, do you offer a program to create a roadmap together?
Absolutely. I was going to respond, but for some reason I'm not able to respond, only send private chat. So, absolutely,
Mhm.
I do have a program where I have a done with you plan, a business plan. And it's customized to you and your business because no two
Yeah,
businesses are ever alike. They just aren't.
yeah,
Um, and so that plan is done one on one. It involves some training, also involves some ongoing coaching. If you're interested, shoot me a note on LinkedIn
yeah,
and we could set something up.
yeah. So do make sure you connect, even just for a chat. As we're going into New Year, I think this is such a good time to really start to think strategically about what does my business need? Where am I going? How am I going to achieve it? And just have a chat with someone from not in your family, not in your own business. I like to work with someone who has fresh eyes on my business and able to point out the shortcomings or able to point out opportunities and areas of improvement. And as Tammy said, processes, strategy, process to implement so you don't have to keep putting the fires out, but actually work smart, work with a plan in place and start to implement it and actually achieve the results that you want to achieve. Tammy, I think this was wonderful and really, really useful just as a beginner's introduction to why a business plan is so, so important. I know we have you featured on the summit. So ladies, if you would like a little bit more support guidance, of course, connect with Tammy directly, but also we have a global summit coming up in March. So this is actually one of the biggest women empowerment events that's taking place virtually. between March 20th and 24th. And this is an opportunity for you to meet with other amazing women. So we have nearly 50 incredible speakers from all around the world who will be sharing their own strategies, techniques, valuable information on business and everything to do with how to grow as a business owner, and not only just to survive in your business, but also to thrive. This is why we're here, to empower women with the knowledge, with the skills, with the expertise, connections, guidance, support, coaching, mentoring, and a community. We have more than 500,000 of you in our community. So this is your opportunity to really connect not only with these experts, but also with fellow entrepreneurs and business owners so you can learn some things from them. Tammy, it's been a pleasure to have you on today's live. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And thank you, ladies.
I appreciate it. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you have not had your question answered by Tammy, do make sure you get in touch with her directly. And also share this live. Leave a comment, whether you're watching this live or on a replay, leave a comment below. Make sure you connect with Tammy and share it with someone, because I know this information we're sharing could be invaluable for someone. It could be life-changing. So this is the opportunity for you to share this with your friends, with your colleagues, and invite them to be part of the summit, because I know what we're going to be covering in that 1 week is going to be life changing for everyone. So, warmly invite you to be part of it. Thank you all so much and enjoy the rest of your day. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for
Thank you.
now.